The first time my daughter asked me for a mother, it broke something inside me I didn't even know was still alive. "Dad," Lily whispered, her tiny fingers tightening around mine as we stood in the middle of a crowded park, "I want her as my mom." I followed her gaze. Across the walkway, a woman stood near a bench, sunlight catching in her hair like it belonged there. She was laughing softly at something an elderly woman had said, her face warm, kind, like the kind of person life hadn't managed to harden yet. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. My daughter hadn't just noticed her. She had chosen her. I swallowed hard. "Lily, sweetheart, you can't just pick someone like that." "Why not?" she asked, looking up at me with those big, honest eyes that never understood the complicated rules adults hid behind. "She looks nice." And she smiled at me. That's all it took for her. A smile. For me, it wasn't that simple. Because love, real love, had already come once into my life, and left in the cruelest way possible. Lily's mother, Sarah, had been everything. My best friend. My home. And when she died, it felt like the world didn't just lose color, it lost meaning. For years, I lived like a shadow, moving forward only because a tiny girl depended on me. I had promised myself one thing: no one would ever replace Sarah. Not for me. Not for Lily. But children, they don't carry the same promises we do. They only carry what they feel. And in that moment, Lily felt something I couldn't ignore. "Can we talk to her?" Lily asked, her voice hopeful. I hesitated. Every instinct in me said no. But something deeper, something quieter, said maybe. Before I could overthink it, Lily slipped her hand from mine and walked straight toward the woman. "Lily!" I called, panic rising in my chest. But it was too late. She had already reached her. "Hi," Lily said, her voice small but brave. "You look like a nice mom." I froze a few steps behind, mortified. The woman blinked in surprise, then crouched down to Lily's level, her expression softening instead of pulling away. "Well," she said gently, "that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me." I stepped forward quickly. "I'm so sorry." She doesn't mean to." "It's okay," the woman said, standing up. Her voice was calm, reassuring. "Really? Kids say what they feel." There was no judgment in her eyes. Just understanding. And that somehow made it worse, or maybe better. I couldn't tell. "I'm Daniel," I said awkwardly. "Emma," she replied with a small smile. Lily beamed. "See, Dad? She even has a pretty name." I rubbed the back of my neck, embarrassed. "She's very direct." "I like that," Emma said. "The world could use more honesty." For a moment, the three of us just stood there, strangers connected by a child's fearless heart. Then Emma looked at Lily. "Do you come to this park often?" "Every Sunday," Lily said proudly. "Dad says it's our special day." Emma nodded. "Then maybe I'll see you again next Sunday." Lily's face lit up like someone had turned on a light inside her. "Promise?" Emma hesitated for the briefest second, then smiled. "Promise." And just like that, something began. The next Sunday, Lily dragged me to the park 10 minutes early. She said she'd come, Lily insisted, pacing near the bench. "She said maybe," I corrected gently. "No," Lily shook her head confidently. "She promised." I didn't argue. Because deep down, I was curious too. And when Emma finally appeared, walking toward us with that same quiet grace, I realized something else I hadn't expected. I was relieved. Over the next few weeks, our Sundays changed. Emma became part of them. At first, it was just small conversations. Then longer ones. Then laughter, real laughter, the kind I hadn't heard from myself in years. Lily adored her instantly. And Emma, she didn't just tolerate Lily. She saw her. Listened to her. Understood her in a way that made my chest ache with both gratitude and fear. Because I knew what was happening. Walls I had spent years building were starting to crack. One evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the sky in soft orange, Lily ran ahead to chase pigeons, leaving Emma and me alone on the bench. "She's amazing," Emma said softly. "She is," I replied. "You've done a good job." I let out a quiet breath. "I've just been trying to survive." Emma looked at me then, not with pity, but with something deeper. "Sometimes survival is the strongest kind of love." Her words hit harder than I expected. For a moment, I considered telling her everything. About Sarah. About the nights I stayed awake wondering if I was enough. About the fear that loving again would mean losing again. But I stayed silent. Because opening that door felt dangerous. As if reading my thoughts, Emma said gently, "You don't have to carry everything alone, you know." I looked away. "I've gotten used to it." "Doesn't mean you deserve it." Her words lingered long after we parted that day. Weeks turned into months. Emma wasn't just a stranger anymore. She was part of us. Lily started calling her my Emma, like she belonged in our story. And slowly, without even realizing it, I stopped resisting. Until one night, everything changed. Lily had a school event, a small performance. She had practiced for weeks, but just before going on stage, she froze. "I can't do it, Dad," she whispered, tears in her eyes. "What if I mess up?" I knelt beside her, trying to calm her down, but nothing worked. Then Emma stepped forward. She crouched in front of Lily and gently took her hands. "Hey," she said softly. "Look at me." Lily sniffled. "You don't have to be perfect," Emma continued. "You just have to be brave for a few minutes. That's all." "But what if I forget?" Lily asked. Emma smiled. "Then you smile, and keep going. And I'll be right here watching you, okay?" Lily hesitated, then nodded. And when she walked onto that stage, she didn't look at me. She looked at Emma. And she did it. Every step. Every word. With courage I didn't know she had. That night, as I tucked Lily into bed, she looked at me sleepily and said, "Dad. I still want Emma as my mom." This time, I didn't rush to shut it down. I just sat there, in the quiet, letting the weight of her words settle in my heart. Because maybe, just maybe, she wasn't wrong. A few days later, I asked Emma to meet me, without Lily. We sat at the same park bench where it all started. "I've been afraid," I admitted, staring at the ground. "Of what?" she asked gently. "Of losing again. Of replacing something that shouldn't be replaced. Of not being fair to you." Emma listened without interrupting. When I finally looked at her, she smiled softly. "I'm not here to replace anyone," she said. "And I'm not here to rush you. I'm here because I care, about both of you." Her words felt honest. Real. "And if all I ever am," she added, "is someone who makes your Sundays brighter, that's enough." Something inside me shifted then. Because love, real love, doesn't demand. It stays. "I don't want just Sundays," I said quietly. Her eyes widened slightly. I want more than that," I continued. "If you do." For a moment, time seemed to pause. Then Emma smiled, the kind of smile that feels like home. "I do." Months later, Lily stood between us, holding both our hands. "See," she said proudly. "I told you, Dad." I laughed softly, squeezing her hand. "Yeah, you did. Sometimes, life doesn't give you second chances the way you expect." Sometimes, it gives you a child brave enough to ask for what your heart is too afraid to admit. And if you're lucky, you listen.